You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Katie.
And hello, listeners to Queen's Podcast. Today, we've got a bit of a supplemental episode for you, if you will. We originally recorded our episode on Agnes Sorrel back in 2021, and we had a Patreon episode about the women in Charles VII's life who were kind of badass.
Kinda, primarily badass.
Since then, we have covered Yolanda of Aragon on the main feed. So, there's a couple of things in this episode. Just keep in mind it was 2021 when we recorded it.
Right. Oh, different times. Woo!
I think there's a couple of times we reference COVID. Like, post-COVID, what is life going to be like?
It's like, oh, well, spoiler alert.
Still a bit of a nightmare. Anyway. So we hope you enjoy this episode. And if you like stuff like this, check out our Patreon.
Yes.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh, my goodness. So I am so excited to continue the story of some of these women from the life and times of Agnes Sorrel and Charles VII of France.
Yes, queen.
So we did a whole episode on Agnes Sorrel, and she was a strong woman who really kind of played her strengths under the radar. And Charles VII, his entire life was built on the backs and influenced by a lot of really strong women. So I just kind of wanted to discuss some of them. One of them has her own episode already. There's a couple other that I'm sure will have their own Queen's Podcast episode someday. Are you ready to learn about some of these awesome women?
The more you know.
All right. So Charles VII was more or less like a meh king. There was nothing that
Direct quote.
Direct quote. Yes, we we surveyed medieval French peasants, and they all went, So let's start at the beginning with the first strong-headed woman in his life. Charles was born in 1403 in Paris to King Charles VI and his unpopular queen, Isabeau of Bavaria. We know
Isabeau.
We know Izzy. We love Izzy. We feel Izzy is very misunderstood, but the two of them didn't have a great relationship.
Not at all.
I don't think Charles really felt special growing up. Not only was he never expected to be king, he was the last son of a billion kids and the second to last kid. He was the fifth Dauphin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because 4 of his older brothers died before him.
So he wasn't nowhere expected to actually be the king.
Exactly. He was also the third Charles in that, they had a son named Charles that died. So they had another son, named him Charles, and he died.
Charles on Charles on Charles on Charles on Charles on Charles.
I just kind of feel like maybe this family should have realized that was a bit of an unlucky name.
Yeah. My middle name is Charles. So.
I know, but I feel like it's not as ominous for you. But he wasn't really raised by his mom. His mother signed an agreement when he was a teenager, basically passing over Charles for the crown. And I think a lot of people were like, how could a mother do that to a son? Well, they weren't particularly close because he wasn't really raised by his mom. And Charles had always been kind of a thorn in the side of the royal family anyway. So he's
starting off on the right foot.
Right. Right. So if he wasn't raised at court, who was he raised by? He was raised by another strong-willed, hard-headed, badass woman, and I love her. Her name is Yolanda of Aragon, and she was an impressive woman. She was the Duchess of Anjou. She's fascinating. I have a feeling we're going to end up doing an episode on her one day for sure. So when Charles was 10, the royal family was in some fucking drama. If you go back and listen to our Isabeau of Bavaria episodes, you know that there was this time during the 100 Years' War where France just took a break from fighting with England just to fight amongst themselves. So Yolanda was hey, king and queen, I'm kind of nervous about you having all your children there in Paris and being like targeted. They could be kidnapped. They could be held ransom. We're all the way out here in Anjou. We're not really part of it. Why don't we betroth one of your kids to one of my kids? And I can take that kid back to Anjou, like away from everything to be raised. And I
Good
think
plan. Sounds like a great plan.
you're getting in close with the royal family. You're bringing one of them to come live with you. That kid's safer. And then also you can hold that kid for collateral if you do ever have a falling out with the king and queen.
There's nothing better than holding a child ransom.
No.
You heard it first on Queen's podcast.
It happens. So at age 10, young baby Charlie goes and lives in the Duchy of Anjou with this family, and he's given like this great education and has, for the most part, a pretty uneventful childhood, which is great. That's a good thing.
Yes, that's a good thing.
He was betrothed to one of the Anjou kids.
Oh, that makes sense.
This girl named Marie, but it's not like they were married as children. So Yolanda was really influential, and she was a really good influence on Charles.
Which is what influential means.
Yes. But let's talk a little bit about her background, because it's even more interesting. Like I said, I think she's going to get her own episode one day. She was the daughter of a king of Aragon. And remember how in pretty much all the Spanish countries, women can inherit the titles? So she should have become Queen of Aragon when her dad died. But she was kind of young when it happened, and her uncle scooped in and took it instead. But
Asshole.
For the rest of her life, she called herself the Queen of Aragon.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, own it.
She was like, no, I'm the queen. I don't have any power over there, but I'm still the fucking queen.
I think I do that every day whenever I step out of bed. I'm like, I am the queen of this house. I am the queen. Fuck off. Whatever I say goes.
I love it. Then she marries the Duke of Anjou, which was like a really, really good marriage for her. I don't know a whole lot about if their marriage was happy, but it was considered successful by the time because they had a bunch of kids and they had a bunch of land and they had a bunch of money.
Sounds successful.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Her husband was the disputed king of Naples and Sicily also. So
I mean, if you're gonna be anything, you have to be disputed. Because, I mean, the drama mama.
Oh my God. So her whole life, Yolanda is basically fighting for these titles that she feels that she deserves. She should be inheriting. She should be the Queen of Aragon and Naples and Sicily, along with the Duchess of Anjou.
YOLO, Yolanda.
YOLO. Yes, exactly. Unlike a lot of women that we discuss in history that kind of bring their power to the front by playing it down, like whispering into men's ears, trying to be influential in the background, that wasn't Yolanda's style. She was wheeling and dealing, and she wanted everyone to know that what was going on was what she wanted to be going on. No one ever said no to her. No one ever shot her down. And if they did,
I am kind of loving this woman.
I love her too. Absolutely. But yeah, she was really a really powerful player in the 100 Years' War. Whoever they backed, if you were like, yes, I got the Duchess of Anjou backing me, it was a big win. So when Charles joined Yolanda's house at age 10, he wasn't the Dauphin yet. Remember, he's got brothers on brothers on brothers ahead of him.
Yeah.
But up until this point, Charles kind of didn't feel like he was really worth anything because he was never going to be king. But she made sure he knew, like, no, dude, you are going to be a powerful duke. You can still be super powerful, even if you're not a king. Look at me. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that confidence and that nurturing that she instilled in him would really work in her favor later. So when Charles's older brothers die, Isabeau of Bavaria sent for Charles to come back to court. And French court, like we said, was basically Game of Thrones right now. Everybody's killing everyone. It's not a safe place for this, for a young teenager, you know? So Isabeau's like, I demand you send him back now. And Yolanda writes this letter back. Get ready to hold on to your butts because it's brutal.
Oh, I don't have much of a butt, but I'm holding on to it.
Hold on
yes,
to those
it feels real good.
Ooh. She wrote, we have not nurtured and cherished this one for you to make him die like his brothers or go mad like his father, or to become English like you? I'm going to keep him for my own. Come and take him if you dare.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I should have held on to my cheeks tighter.
Right? Especially, like, it is hitting. And Isabeau just dropped it. She was like, fine, you can fucking keep him.
She's like, I'm over
but, like, it hits every point. It's like, you let your other sons get murdered or die, and your husband's crazy, and you've basically sold your soul to the English. So fuck you, lady. Charles is staying right here. So
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you.
exactly. Hey, Queens. It is Katie from Queens Podcast. And if you are a longtime listener to this show, you know I have Wanderlust, and I bet a lot of you do too. I have a trip coming up in just a month or so to London. And guess what? I am treating myself to first class. No, not a first class flight. The podcast isn't doing that well yet. I mean a first class quality suitcase from Quince. Without breaking the bank, of course. Quince offers high quality travel essentials at prices that make you feel like you've already started your vacation. I'm talking about lightweight European linen styles starting at just $30. Washable silk tops, and of course, lounge sets, because, I mean, why not look good when I'm lounging around in the hotel? Am I right? But it's not just about clothes. Quince also has premium luggage options, stylish totes, carry-on bags. Treat yourself, honey. These are all going to look awesome without breaking the bank. So how do they do it? How do they keep me in style without maxing out my credit cards? Quince partners directly with top factories. They cut the cost of the middleman, and they pass the savings on to us. And here's what I love the most. They only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. For my upcoming trip, like I said, I am upgrading to Quince's stylish, durable suitcase. It's spacious, it's lightweight, and it's perfect for all of my travel needs. So for your next trip, why not treat yourself to a luxe upgrade you deserve from Quince? Head over to quince.com/queenspod for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/queenspod. Happy travels!
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, fast forward a little bit. Charles has... Exactly. Charles has been written out of the line of succession in 1420. And let me tell you, young Charlie he was a fucking brat. He's 17. He's spoiled rotten. He's just kind of, like, he's not great.
Meh.
He's not great. But him being written out of the line of succession and, like, basically France being given to England was not a popular move either. So people are like, if we have to take the brat, we'll take the brat over the English, you know? And so just a couple of years later, Prince Charlie's dad dies. And so now he is the disputed king. And the same year his dad dies, he marries Marie of Anjou, Yolanda's daughter. And
I like how you said that. You said that very, very Marie of Anjou.
Marie of Anjou, yes.
Keep going.
So now Yolanda is the disputed queen of Aragon, the disputed queen of Naples and Sicily, and now the disputed mother-in-law to the king of France.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She gets priority mail. I love this woman. And we're going to cover her here shortly because
Definitely.
Yolanda, YOLO.
I think it's pronounced Yolanda. I couldn't find, whenever I don't know how to pronounce something, I try to look it up on YouTube. But like everything on YouTube about her was in French or Spanish. So
yeah, and it looks like Yolanda, but it has an E on the end.
Yeah. So when I say Yolanda is instrumental in getting Charles the throne of France, that is a huge understatement. She is the reason he got the throne of France. Like,
I am living for it.
Yeah.
Like, it is like the exact opposite of the woman that killed Selena. I mean, Yolanda. This is the cool.
Oh, is that the
version.
name? Was that the name of the lady that killed Selena? Was Yolanda?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yolanda.
I was like, yes.
Where are you going with this, Nathan?
Interesting leap, but okay. Anyway, so the King of England is now calling himself King of France. And Charles VII didn't like this. As we mentioned in our Agnes Sorrel episode, until Agnes came along, Charles VII really wasn't like an ambitious dude.
No.
You know, so
he was a bump on a log.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, yeah.
So he was just sort of like, I don't like it. Meh. And Yolanda was like, well, let's do something about it. And he was like, we can do that? She's like, yes, we can do that. I don't know that without her support, he would have ever made a move for the crown. But Yolanda raised armies. She hired hype men just to go around the country and be like, we gotta fight for our king, you know, and just...
That needs to be the new death metal song.
Yeah!
We need to fight for our king.
Exactly. In fact, Yolanda introduced Charles to the next lady in his life that was powerful and influential. So, Yolanda keeps hearing around about there is this peasant girl that talks to saints. There is this...
Oh, I might have an idea of who that is.
There is this...
Because she might have been schizophrenic. Let's be real.
But Yolanda gets word that everybody in the countryside is talking about this peasant girl that says she talks to saints, she talks to God, she can't read, but she can, like, communicate with the other side, and they are telling her that Charles is the rightful king. And so Yolanda is like, bring me this peasant girl. What do y'all call her?
Bring me said peasant.
What's her name? What do y'all call her? Joan of Arc is who we're talking about.
Fuck. No big deal.
No big deal. Yolanda's like, I need to make sure that she's not fucking around. Bring her to me. And Yolanda grills Joan of Arc for like 2 days. Joan of Arc must have been so impressive and so good at holding her ground that Yolanda was like, I think this girl's legit. I think she either talks to saints or she can convince everybody she talks to saints.
Yeah, that's a feat.
Yeah.
You know, like to convince a well-educated woman that maybe you aren't a psychopath.
Exactly. Let's introduce Charles to Joan. So she is the reason that we even have the story of Joan of Arc.
That's so cool.
All right, we're going to kind of leave Yolanda there. She continues to be a powerful presence for the rest of her life in Charles's court, but for the purpose of this story, we're going to leave her there.
Bye, YOLO.
Bye. Check you later. So now Charles meets Joan of Arc. And again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on Joan of Arc because she will definitely get her own episode one day. But if it wasn't for her, she had such a following of being like such this inspirational person that so many people went and fought for this prince that Charles VII never would have raised this just on his personality. Alone, you know? He had to have these two powerful women, one that had all the money and power and one that had like that superstar charisma to get people to go fight for him. So after Joan of Arc steps in, another powerful woman that he uses to get what he needs, he gets the crown. And what does he do?
Oh my God. I don't even know. It's probably awful.
He's just after he wins his crown, he's just sort of like, I'm done with Joan of Arc. And she's
meh. She's meh.
She's meh. and he gives her over to the English. So that's fucked up. So he's not always super grateful to the powerful women in his life. So that sucks. But on the back of these two amazingly powerful, amazing, fantastic, interesting women, Charles.
Can you say amazing one more time?
Amazingly amazing, amazeballs, amazing grace.
I love it. Can that go on my tombstone?
Yes. We should rewrite.
Nathan.
We should rewrite Amazing Grace.
Amazeballs grace.
Yeah.
We're nuts.
Yep.
Okay, moving
I love
on.
that we're sober and we're still singing Amazeballs.
Yeah, right?
No. Okay, so Charlie is now the undisputed king. And he is King Charles VII of France. And he, for a few years now, has been married to Marie of Anjou. And that is now the queen. So unlike her formidable mother, Marie she wasn't politically ambitious in the same way. She was kind of happy to sit in the back, whisper to the king, kind of, play her cards backstage. But I don't think that just because she wasn't wheeling and dealing and making political alliances, I don't think we can say that she wasn't strong.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Because she had 14 children.
Oh, damn. That's a litter of babies.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
14 children.
I bet by the 14th one, they could just stroll
walk
out of
on
there.
out.
Just
Like with a cane and a top hat, like, hello, my baby, hello, my... Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how childbirth works. Right. But no, if you think that doesn't take strength, fuck your face. Because... And while she's popping out like babies on babies on babies, she's keeping her mouth shut about all her husband's, all his little affairs, all his little girlfriends.
Oh, okay. So she's keeping silent on that?
So that takes a whole different type of emotional strength that I don't think I have.
Yeah.
She never once makes a scene about all his girlfriends and all his partying. And again, that's a strength. That takes a lot of emotional strength, knowing and feeling confident enough in yourself to not... I don't know that I am confident enough that if I make scenes all the time, maybe I'm not being super confident. Even though hasn't gone down in history as this big political player, she's a strong woman who, she gave him heirs, she gave him children. He wasn't always super popular, but she was always super popular. So she did worlds to bring respect to their court. So, yeah, she doesn't go down in the history. She never went to the battlefield. She never did anything like that, but she was a strong lady. I really like her. Yeah, so they got engaged when they were children, and they were raised together. And sometimes...
So they were like brother and sister. Kind of felt like
he joined their household when he was 10 and she was 8 or something.
So
and then they were married
weird.
10 years later. So it's just they just never fell in love. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes
it was like brother sister,
right?
More I think they probably felt like they were related because they probably were.
Well, yeah,
but
I didn't go down the genealogy rabbit hole, but I betcha
ye old incest rabbit hole.
I betcha they're cousins somewhere in there for sure. What's fucked up, though, when Charles went to his coronation, there was still war going on in France. The English were still there. And she was big and pregnant when he was going to Paris to get crowned. And he was like, I don't like you traveling. After everything settles down, you'll get your own coronation. And she was like, sweet. She never did.
What a dick.
Know.
I want my own crown. I want my own music played whenever I walk down the aisle. Fuck off.
Right?
I deserve a coronation for getting out of bed. Ba, 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 ba. Did I sing "Oh Canada"?
I have no idea what that is. It can be whatever you want it to be, Nathan.
I need "Oh Canada" to play every time I step out of bed.
But seriously, Marie was this paragon of queenship at the time. Do you know what I mean? She was just the gold standard. She was pious. She was super charitable, just like you're supposed to be. Side note, she loved animals. She had a bunch of greyhounds.
I love this even more. I mean, go
She had
on.
parrots, and she had pet baby goats.
I love baby goats.
She could have, modern day, she could have done, like, have you seen that baby goat yoga?
No, but obviously I
Okay,
need to.
Yeah, when we get off this call, I need you to go to YouTube and look up baby goat yoga. It's exactly what it's just you do yoga and baby goats climb all over you.
I am YouTubing it right
There we
now.
go. So she outlived Charles by 2 years, and then their eldest son, Louis, maybe murderer of Agnes, becomes king.
Sorry, I just pulled up baby goat yoga.
It's adorable, isn't it?
I know. Everybody stop what you're doing and go do yoga with a baby.
Right? Well, after the pandemic. Pandemic?
Billy goats.
After the pandemic. Let's go do some goat yoga.
Katie.
Anyway, back to the land of Louis. So Marie and Louis were actually pretty close. That was one of the reasons that her son was so pissed off when King Charles took up with Agnes Sorel. So I just couldn't find a whole lot more information on, but I couldn't not mention it. In the winter of 1462, she decided that she needed to go on this pilgrimage to Spain. And like her ladies were like, but madam, it's winter. The roads are icy. Shouldn't you go in the summer or spring or something? And she was like, no, I have to go. I have to go right now. And it didn't make any sense to anybody. Why did she need to go on this dangerous route? Like, why couldn't she wait until another time? One, she could have just been really pious and been like, no, God wants me to go and it's dangerous to, I don't fucking know, prove.
Very Catherine of Aragon.
But some people think she was actually going to Spain to act as a spy for Louis, who had some bullshit going on with the Spanish that she needed to go check in on.
Secret agent.
Yes, I couldn't find any more deets on that, but I love the idea that this quiet, pious, just like often forgotten woman may have been a spy. Love it. All right. Meh. Dude that had so many powerful women in his life. Did he produce any powerful women? So let's talk about a couple of his daughters.
Babies on babies on babies.
So we're going to discuss two of his daughters. One of them I didn't know anything about before looking into this, and she's another one that I think we're going to have to do an episode on one day. Her name is Magdalena of Valois. That's his youngest daughter with Marie. So she would have been the baby that Marie was pregnant with when Agnes hit court. Do you remember, like, when Agnes hit the scene and the mom was pregnant or Marie was pregnant with her 13th child?
Yeah. God damn. Oh my God, 13 children.
Yes. So Magdalena was born December 1st, 1443, and she eventually married Prince of Navarre. And I mean, once you get to like your 13th child, you're no longer trying to find them someone who's going to be a king one day. You're just trying to make a good match. So he was never meant to be king of Navarre, but because everything is scary in the Middle Ages, a bunch of people die.
Yay.
Right? Yay! So Magdalena has a couple of kids. A bunch of people in her husband's family die. And now her child is King of Navarre. And his name is Phoebus.
Because, I mean, how pretentious
I'm just happy it's not Louis or Charles or Ferdinand. Like, all these names from this time.
Arthur.
I've never heard of Phoebus before, and I'm very happy that they've joined. I'm very happy that Phoebus has entered the chat. So he is a little boy. And he dies at age 17. So she's been acting as regent for him since his dad died. And then he dies, and the crown then goes to her daughter, who's still a minor as well. So she gets to continue acting as regent.
She
really liked being regent because when her daughter becomes of age, her daughter is married. Her daughter is starting to have babies with her new husband. And her daughter's like, Mom, I can do this now. And Magdalena's just sort of like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What? I can't.
New phone, I guess.
I'm just going to keep doing this because I can't hear what you're saying. I'm going to assume that you want me to keep doing this. So I don't know why. I'll have to dig into this more when we cover Magdalena Valois one day, but we're in the late 1400s in Spain, and it's a powerful woman doing something that men don't like. So guess who steps in to put her in her place?
Oh, I could take a gander. Ferdinand.
Fucking Ferdinand of Aragon.
Asshole.
Again, I haven't got to research it that much, but I'm like, why? This is none of your business.
I bet I would
doing?
put money on it that he has a really small penis.
Yeah, that's my guess too. But no, so fucking Ferdinand, this fucking guy, he puts Magdalena in jail so that her daughter can take over, and Magdalena dies there the next year.
What the fuck? What an asshole. I hate him more and more. This fucking guy.
I mean, she probably... I've definitely added Magdalena Valois to our list of women to cover because I want to know, like, more about... Because, you know, when we do these Patreon episodes, it's just little rabbit holes that we're not spending a whole lot of time researching on. I want to know more. Magdalena, what happened to you? So...
Poor baby Maggie.
All right. I've got one more of Charles's daughters to talk about.
Okay, I bet she's just as scandalous.
She is, and she's a ghost now.
Yes.
Yes. I've actually talked about this woman on our blog around Halloween last year. I wrote a blog post. I called it Spiteful Spirits, about ghosts that stuck around, like historical ghosts that stuck around to piss people off. And she is one of them. So her name is Charlotte of France. Charlotte was the middle daughter of Agnes Sorel and Charles VII. Charlotte was really, really, really popular at court. And she was actually really close to her half-brother Louis, even though Louis hated her mom. And she was a bright light put out too soon. She lived her life like a candle in the wind, is what I'm saying.
Hey, thanks, Elton John.
Whenever she was a teenager, she was married off to this really, really, really rich guy named Jacques de Brézy.
That sounds pretentious.
Well, it might sound familiar because Diane de Poitiers, remember how she had a husband? That
was me. That was that long,
that was you
drawn out cadence is my ate up brain remembering
something we talked about like 3 years ago. Yeah. So Jacques de Brézy and Charlotte
Jacques Fabrice. Yes.
Him and Charlotte had a son that then went on to marry Diane de Poitiers.
Because, I mean, why not? Everyone's got to be related.
Everyone's got to be related.
You got to fuck your cousin. If you're not fucking your cousin, what are you doing with your life?
If you're not fucking your cousin, are you even royalty? No.
You heard it first on Queen's podcast.
We really need to put that on a bumper sticker or something.
That's our new merch.
Oh my God. We should, because one thing me and Nathan have been talking about, like on the side, is like we should do like a Queen's podcast weekend in London when the panoramic is all over. And we should sell, if you're not fucking your cousins, are you even royalty bumper stickers outside of Buckingham Palace?
I think we just scored a royal win.
I think we just came upon our $1 million idea there, Nathan.
If you're not fucking your cousin, are you even royalty?
And the answer is no, probably not. All right, let's get back on track about Charlotte.
Reel it in.
Reel it in. Are you even royalty? Anyway,
Katie's hung up on it.
It's so funny.
That's how you know it's a good idea.
I know. Anyway, let's recap because Charlotte of France, illegitimate daughter of Charles VII, is married to this Jacques de Brézy guy. It reminds me of, do you remember in the Hortense Mancini story where she was married to this really, really rich guy and it was meant to be like an awesome match, but it turns out he sucked?
He like paraded her around dead.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
So
not good.
Jacques de Brézy wasn't quite as crazy as Hortense Mancini's dude, but he they were just a bad match. She was young and popular and beautiful and loved living life at court. And he was basically like, no, you live in the country now and you just sit here and have babies and that's your life now. And she didn't get to go party anymore. She didn't get to dress up. It was just bad. They were poorly matched. And he was like an important dude. So he was always off doing important dude stuff. And he would leave her at their palace, the Chateau Brisac, for like weeks at a time. So you're hot, you're lonely, you're still like in your sexual prime. What are you going to do?
Get on Tinder.
Yeah. No, you're going to start fucking some guy in your staff is what's going to happen.
Swipe right. Swipe right.
I don't know which way means yes, but I'm assuming right.
Swipe right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Katie living her married life.
I know. I know. Also, with my dyslexia, I don't always off the top of my head know which way is left or right. So I'm very glad I missed Tinder because I feel like I would accidentally be swiping the wrong way on people I didn't like.
And you would be filled with all of these creepers being
oh my
like,
God.
hey, Katie.
And then I'd be so awkward being like, okay, I guess we can go get coffee. But anyway, she starts an affair with one of their hunters, this guy named Pierre, because of course the two dudes in the story are Jacques and Pierre, because we are living in like a French stereotype story. I don't really know how, like the details are murky because no one really wrote down how this rich guy killed his wife, but he finds out she's cheating and he kills her. One story is that he walks in on them fucking and he stabs each one of them 100 times.
Very O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. One story is that he found out and then he waited to the next day and found her in prayer in their chapel and strangles her with her rosary. Was another one.
Oh, well, that's sacrilegious.
Yeah. Yeah. So either way, she's dead.
Long story
short, she's dead. But the reason that she is a hard-headed, strong woman comes after her death. Jacques goes to jail like just for a minute, and then he's like basically pardoned, and he goes back home to their Chateau Brisac, I think is how you say it.
Chateau de Death.
Yeah. At the time in France, it was the tallest palace. It was a real formidable place. So he goes home. He is almost driven mad because his wife is haunting the palace.
Yes, there is nothing better than a dead woman coming back from the grave to torment your ass. I love it. Okay.
He can't sleep because every time he closes his eyes, he hears her like screaming, wailing, like in pain, just like, ah, like, and he can't eat because like her screaming and wailing, like every time he sits down, he hears it and it makes him nauseous. He can't have people over because his dead wife keeps showing up. Like, so after about a year, he's like, fuck this. And like, he gives the palace back to the crown and he tells them, he's like, yeah, Charlotte's haunting it. I can't fucking live there anymore.
Yeah, I don't, my dead wife's there.
Yeah.
Right.
But she didn't leave. The people that, to this day, the people that own the palace, I can't remember the family name.
Fabrice.
No, it's to a different family now. It's no longer the Fabrizis. She's now called La Dame Verte, the Green Lady, because she wears like a green nightgown that she was apparently killed in.
So that's what they see her in.
Yeah, so that's what they see her in. And the people that own it now have owned it for a few generations, and they're so used to her that whenever people that are visiting,
they invite her to family gatherings. She's there for
like,
Christmas.
Come on, Charlotte, get in the picture.
She brings the fruit
We got
cake.
you a sweater. Here you go. But no, when people who are visiting see her and get freaked out, like the family is like, oh, did we forget to mention?
Sorry, we forgot ye old ghost.
Yeah. And she doesn't have eyes. She has like big gaping holes where her eyes should be. So I'm sure she's scary to see.
If I was dead, I probably wouldn't have eyes either.
You wouldn't take the time to do your mascara. You wouldn't.
Yeah. Fuck mascara.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So
no.
yeah.
Eyeliner, who needs it?
Charlotte may have not been super influential on paper in her time, but she will not be fucking forgotten. And people will know that her husband fucking murdered her. So that's staying power, and I love it.
I know. I am living for this. I want to go visit that palace just to do the Ouija board.
Oh my God. I know. I think you can.
Who is this? Charlotte.
And you're just like, oh my God, Charlotte, we talk about you on our podcast. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry you married someone with the name of Febreze. I can't. It's just Charlotte Febreze. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Well, so those are the strong, powerful, hard-headed ladies in the life of Charles VII. I hope you enjoyed the story time, Nathan.
Yes, Rabbit Hole Nation.
All right. Cheers, bitches.
Hey everyone, it's Dan Souza from America's Test Kitchen. I'm super excited to let you all know that we're launching a new video podcast that takes you behind the scenes into the messy, imperfect, but riveting day-to-day life right here in our test kitchen. Not only do I get to talk to my colleagues about the latest taste test they attended.
I just came from a tasting of salted caramel apple pie bars and then roasted garlic, so I apologize.
Or about a recipe they're developing.
The thing about this recipe is it's a secret. The restaurateur refuses to tell people what her secret ingredients are.
We also chat with amazing guests from the culinary world and beyond.
The lamest joke I've ever said. And I said to Marie Bamford.
Great.
It's the
Definitely
great
said
joke.
Thanks, Hannah.
Make sure to subscribe to In the Test Kitchen so you don't miss an episode. You can watch In the Test Kitchen on YouTube and Spotify and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Can't wait to see you in the Test Kitchen.